Jack Ryan, as a young covert CIA analyst, uncovers a Russian plot to crash the US economy with a terrorist attack. This is my review of Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. So I was excited for a few reasons to see Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit with my dad, and one of those reasons is because it's a Jack Ryan movie. And for those of you that don't know, Jack Ryan is a character made by Tom Clancy and his book series, and Jack Ryan has been played before by other actors such as Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, and Ben Affleck. For Alec Baldwin, it was in The Hunt for Red October. For Harrison Ford, it was Patriot Games and not the Sum of All Fears. It was Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. And for Ben Affleck, it was The Sum of All Fears. The only movies I've seen with Jack Ryan in them have been Patriot Games, which was good, Clear and Present Danger, which I thought was really good, and The Sum of All Fears, which I thought was just good. I haven't seen The Hunt for Red October yet, but I've heard from a lot of people that's a really good movie with the Jack Ryan character. And the other reason I was excited to see this movie is because it was the only movie release from this month that was the most interesting to me, because really this month was just full of bad movies. I haven't seen the bad movies, but I've heard from word of mouth from both my friends and from reviewers, both in the newspapers and from YouTube, that some movies that came out this month were just terrible and were just trash. So really I have to thank The Wolf of Wall Street and Paramount, because Paramount pushed The Wolf of Wall Street from its November release date into Christmas, and it bumped out Jack Ryan out and into January. So thank you, Wolf of Wall Street and Paramount, for doing that, so I had someone to look forward to in January. Alright, let's get into Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. What did I think about Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit? I thought it was a good, well-done action spy movie. The good points. So I think the thing I liked the most about Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit was the prologue at the beginning, where you get to see Jack Ryan's origin story. I think it's really different from the books, because I believe Jack Ryan was first introduced by Tom Clancy, like during the Cold War era, while this sort of rebooted Jack Ryan character got into like the military and everything because of the 9/11 attacks. And it was interesting to see like where he began at first and how he went into the CIA and everything, and I thought that that was really the most interesting part of the movie. The prologue also helps us bring in characters that will be seen later in the movie that are being played by Keira Knightley and Kevin Costner. I also thought that the action scenes were really well done and really well directed by Kenneth Branagh. An action scene I liked the most was with Jack Ryan fighting that guy in the hotel room, and that's not spoiling anything because you see that in the trailer that Jack Ryan's being shot at and being chased by this guy in a hotel room. But other than that scene, I thought that the rest of the action scenes were really well done. Speaking of the director, so Kenneth Branagh, overall, I thought that he did a good job directing the movie. It wasn't really anything special, but I still thought it was a good job. For those of you that don't know who Kenneth Branagh is, he plays the bad guy in this movie, and he also directed movies like Thor and some other like Shakespeare films or something, like during the 80s. And speaking of Kenneth Branagh starring in this movie, let's talk about who is in this movie. So like I said, Kenneth Branagh plays the bad guy in this movie, the main antagonist, and he plays a really good bad guy for a Jack Ryan movie. I also thought that Chris Pine did a really good job playing Jack Ryan. I don't think that he's the best Jack Ryan. I think that title still goes with Harrison Ford, who was in Clear and Present Danger and the Patriot Games. But still, I think that he did a really well job playing as Jack Ryan. Keira Knightley plays Jack Ryan's girlfriend, and when I saw the trailer, I was like, man, I hope that this character isn't going to be annoying. But really, she wasn't really that annoying at all. Like, there were some moments like, but overall, I thought her character was really well used in the movie, and she was useful in the movie as well. Kevin Costner plays the person that recruits Jack Ryan, and not only that, he is also the person that's really sort of Jack Ryan's boss. And I thought that Kevin Costner did a good job acting with his role. And like Keira Knightley, I thought that his character was useful and really well used throughout the movie. The only other good thing I have to say about Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit is the editing. I thought that the editing was really well done, especially during the action scenes, because the action scenes were really well paced, and I think that's due to the editing. And as for the other scenes, I thought that the editing was done well. The bad points. The main bad point I can come up with is the writing for Jack Ryan. And by that I mean that not the whole movie was written badly, because there were some scenes where the movie had good dialogue, or the movie had really well written scenes. But there were some scenes that I thought that just weren't needed at all, or there was some information given to us that wasn't needed because it didn't really play out like in the end of the movie, or like with the climax of the movie. Like, it didn't really play out then, or it just sort of confused us. And by us, I mean the audience. And I like it when a writer writes a movie in a way where the audience can figure out on their own like what's going on, or like what some of these things mean, and not be spoon-fed like everything. And that's what the writer did. Like, he didn't spoon-feed us like really a lot of information, but he wrote some scenes in a way where it's like it was sort of confusing, like as to like what this info meant or what these things meant. And I don't like it when that happens. I mean, I know I can try to figure this out like after a movie, like go on Wikipedia or Google and check out like these terms and everything, but it's like when I don't know like what these terms or what this info means in the movie, it's like I'm sort of lost in the movie. The only other bad thing I have to say about Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit is the pacing of the movie. Now, I don't know if it was the directing that affected the pacing or vice versa, if the pacing affected the directing, but there was just something off about this movie. And there was something that was just off where it just felt like, I don't know, like this just feels a little bit weird. It feels like this should be a little bit faster, or this should be a little bit slower, so we can like take in all the information and not have this scene go like really fast with all this information being spilled to us. But like I said, I don't know if that was the directing or the pacing, but there was just something that was off about like some scenes, because it felt like some scenes, like I said, should have been either faster or slower. So I saw this movie with my dad, and unfortunately I will not be giving out his rating, because at the beginning of the movie he got a phone call and he had to go out of the theater, and he was gone for like 25 to 30 minutes, so unfortunately his rating will not count for this movie. But I will give my rating. I give this movie a 3 out of 4 stars. And I don't really think it's a movie that's worth seeing at the theaters. Like, unless you really want to see it, then if you want to see it at the theaters, then go at the theater when it's at matinee price. Or if you're a person that likes action or spy movies, then I think you'll like this movie then. But if you're not sure if you want to see this movie, then wait for it to come out on Netflix or Redbox or something like that. But really, I think it's a really good, fun action movie. And other than that, guys, that's it.